guys? It is Chase here, and I know I haven't posted a lot of NFL content recently, so I wanted to do some NFL content today, and we are going to be going through like a weekend recap of everything that happened in the NFL this weekend. I'm going to start doing this. We'll talk about some topics, but mainly just going through a game. So let's start off here in Seattle for Thursday Night Football. Seahawks 6-3 taking on the Cardinals 6-3. Who is going to take the lead in the NFC West? Here we go. Russell Wilson. Here, he's going to look, keep alive, stay in the pocket, and throw a touchdown pass right there. Seahawks take a 7-0 lead. Now the Cardinals are on the goal line to start the second quarter, and they're going to run it in right there. Just barely gets in, but wait, the ball gets out, and it's going to be recovered, and the Seahawks are going to recover the football. See, it's now a 7-7 tie ball game. Here's Russell Wilson. He's going to throw another touchdown pass right there. A beautiful throw and catch. The Seahawks take the lead. Tyler Lockett with the catch. Seahawks now up 16 to 7, and here is Kyler Murray with the touchdown pass. Seahawks take a 16-14 lead, and they run it in right there to take a 23-14 lead. Here's Kyler Murray, fourth quarter, to a wide open. And that would be it. The Seahawks will win that game. Here we go. Tennessee-Baltimore. Ryan Tannehill in Baltimore throws a touchdown pass right there. Titans take a 7-6 lead. Here's Lamar Jackson on the goal line. 3rd and 1. They are going to run it in right there for a Baltimore touchdown. 14-10 lead for Baltimore. Here's Lamar Jackson. Steps back. Throws a beautiful ball to his tight end Mark Andrews for the touchdown. Titans down 21-16. Here's Ryan Tannehill to Brown right there. Brown stays alive, and he's going to go all the way to the end zone for the Titans to take a lead. Hang on for a second. Sorry about that. So the Titans take a lead right there. Titans have then we're going to go over here. The Titans have the lead. The Ravens would tie it up right here. And in overtime, the beast, Derrick Henry, calls game with the touchdown. The Titans win it. The Ravens fall to 6-4. Titans improve to 6-4. Now, before we get on, let's discuss the NFC West, who I think is the favorite in the NFC West. 49ers have so many injuries. It doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs. Next, we have the Rams, who have surprised me. They've been a really good team and are definitely contenders, as well as the Cardinals and the Seahawks. So as far as who I think is going to win, the Seahawks defense has struggled, but I still think it's going to be between them and the Rams, with the Seahawks defeating the Cardinals. So I think that the Seahawks will take this division. I have them finishing maybe somewhere 11-5, 12-4 still. But with the way that offense has been playing, if they can get that defense on track, and if that defense can improve, I feel like the Seahawks can be a really good team. And they can be Super Bowl contenders. They were my Super Bowl contenders. I did change my Super Bowl pick to Chiefs-Packers. It was really originally Chiefs-Seahawks. And that's only because of the way that the Seahawks defense has definitely not impressed me. But if that defense can improve, or if the offense can just make up for the defense and win them some games, I have the Seahawks finish. I could see them winning out, finishing 13-3. I could see 12-4. The Rams are a team that has really surprised me. They won yesterday against the Buccaneers. Jared Goff and that offense has looked really well with Josh Reynolds, Robert Woods. They've looked really good, getting a lot of yards after catch. So the Rams have definitely impressed me. I had them going 6-10. I definitely messed up on that pick. But the Rams are they Super Bowl contenders for me? No. They are a solid team with a pretty good defense. I mean, Aaron Donald, just such a great player. But for me, this division is between the Seahawks and the Rams, but definitely don't count the Cardinals out. They have a really good defense. I really like Kyler Murray. I really like that offense. So I think that this could be a three-way race, but for me, the two favorites in this division would be the Seahawks and the Rams. And right now, I have the Seahawks win that division, but that definitely could change. I just really like the way that Russell Wilson, that Seahawks offense is played. If that defense can step up, for me, they're my top Super Bowl contender. As far as that division. Now let's discuss the Ravens. What is going on with the Ravens? Can they still make the playoffs? I think that basically what is happening is teams are figuring out that if they like Lamar Jackson only a passer and they force him to throw and they shut down his run game, they're in trouble. The Ravens are in trouble. They already have 4 losses. They got to play Pittsburgh on Thursday, which is going to be a very difficult game without your 2 running backs, Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins, who tested positive. I think Lamar is going to have to run a lot, but if that Steeler defense figures it out, I don't see the Ravens winning that football game on Thursday. So for that, I could see the Ravens finishing at best maybe 11-5, 10-6. Could they miss the playoffs? Definitely. Teams are just figuring Lamar Jackson and the Ravens out. They're making him a passer. If he was more accurate of a passer and not just a main runner, I feel like that would be fine. But because Lamar Jackson is so much of a runner only, it's definitely a problem. If he was more accurate of a passer, I think that the Ravens would have to have figured that out. I think that the Titans shut them down on Sunday, and they shut them down last year in the playoffs. But Lamar, if they shut down his run game, teams can definitely beat them, and they figured him out. So the Ravens, I don't know. Their defense is going to have to step up. We'll have to see how that passing game is. Mark Andrews is a great target, but we'll just have to see. I still definitely think that the Ravens are going to make the playoffs. I know there's people who think that they aren't going to make it, that maybe the Raiders or Dolphins could get in, but I still think that the Ravens are going to make it. But the Ravens would have had to know since they drafted him that this was going to happen, that he wasn't that accurate of a passer, and it was going to be difficult once teams figured him out. In order to defeat the Ravens, all you basically have to do, it's harder than that, but you make Lamar Jackson a passer. If you let him run all around you, it's going to be really hard. If you make him pass a lot, not all his passes are going to be accurate. I think that's how you defeat the Ravens. So that's what's going on with the Ravens. Will they still make the playoffs? I think so. I think that the Steelers are definitely going to win that division. I could see them probably at 14-2, 15-1. I don't see them going 16-0. I know there's a lot of people who do. They don't have the hardest schedule to finish, but I think that the Ravens finish 10-6, which 11-5, which would pretty much get them into the playoffs. But that's definitely what's going on with the Ravens, and it was so predictable that was going to happen. I could have told you that last season. So let's move on to the Lions and the 4-5 Lions and the 3-7 Panthers. Panthers without Teddy Bridgewater, but here's P.J. Walker. He hands it off to Mike Davis for the touchdown. Panthers take an early lead. This game was all Panthers. They're up 7-0 here in the second quarter, and here's P.J. Walker with a dime to his wide open receiver, and the Panthers would go on to win that game 20-0. Here we go. Eagles-Browns. This is going to be a pick six right here. The Browns are going to take a 7-0 lead. Eagles have really struggled this year. They're still in first place in the division, though. Down 7-0. Here's Carson Wentz looking, throwing for the touchdown. Browns up 12-10 here in the fourth quarter. Baker Mayfield going to hand off to Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt is going to hurdle his way into the end zone to make this a 2-possession game. Browns up 22-10. 35 seconds left. Carson Wentz, in garbage time, throws a touchdown pass to his tight end. And that would be it. The Browns will win this game. Now let's move on to the Patriots and the Texans here. Patriots have really struggled. So have the Texans, 4-5 and 2-7. Patriots are up 7-0 here. Here's Deshaun Watson going to throw a touchdown pass. Patriots up 10-7 late and in the second quarter. Here's Deshaun Watson running, and he is going to make it into the end zone to give the Texans the lead. Texans up 14-10. Here's Deshaun Watson still looking, throws a touchdown pass. Makes this a 2-score lead for the Texans. Patriots give up 21 points in that first half. Here's Cam Newton with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Down by 2 scores. What can he do? He looks, throws it deep. A nice touchdown pass to cut the deficit to 1. Texans will go on to win this game. Here we go. The Steelers and the Jaguars. It was a domination by the Steelers. A really nice throw there by Big Ben to his wide receiver Chase Claypool. And then right before the half, they run it in right there to make it a 2-possession game. Steelers up 20-3 here, and they would keep piling it on. Big Ben with another touchdown pass makes it a 4-score game. Steelers win that game 27-3. Here are the Saints and the Falcons. Actually, before we get into this game, let's discuss the Steelers. So one thing I wanted to talk about is, are the Steelers overrated? I've been hearing from some people they are, some people that they aren't. And another question is, do I think that they can go 16-0? Are they overrated? No. It's really hard for a team to go. What people need to realize is, I don't care how hard your schedule is, it's still really hard to go 10-0 and to start that season 10-0, even if you're playing the 10 worst teams in the NFL. It's still very difficult. Have the Steelers played the hardest schedule in the NFL? No. Have they played the easiest schedule in the NFL? No. They faced some hard opponents. They faced a couple hard opponents, and you could say that they were overrated if they lost all of those opponents, or if they lost to most of those opponents, but the Steelers beat all of those opponents. So if you look at the games that they played, yes, they have played some easy opponents, but they also played some difficult opponents, like the Titans. People say that they blew leads. They didn't blow a lead because they ended up winning the game. They played the Titans, who are a difficult team. They beat the Ravens. They crushed the Browns, who are a divisional opponent. The Browns have been playing well this year. So they've beaten some hard opponents. They didn't beat the Cowboys' fourth stringer by too many points. They had an off game there. Probably could have lost that game, but they still hung on. They beat down the Bengals. They won in a close one with the Texans. The Texans haven't been playing great this year, but a win's a win. They beat the Broncos and Jeff Driscoll in a close game. So I can understand why people think that they haven't played the hardest schedule, because they haven't. But they haven't played the easiest. And the opponents that people expected them to lose to, like the Titans, the Ravens, those teams, they've beaten. So we'll have to see whether they can beat the Ravens this week. But realistically, let's say that they get past the Ravens don't have their 2 running backs. They win that game. They should win against the Washington football team. The Bills, that's going to be a difficult game. The Colts, and then they finish up against the Browns. So the worst that I can see the Steelers going would be 14-2. I think they, at the very least, they lose to 2 of the 3 hard teams that they're finishing up against. The Ravens on Thanksgiving, the Bills, and then the Colts. I think that they could beat the Colts. Then, Bills and Ravens are going to be difficult, but I think they go 14-2. I think that they lose to the Bills and the Ravens. And then the Bengals, they should beat them. And then the Browns, they should beat them. So as far as the Steelers being overrated, they're not. They've beaten the teams who they have. I've never heard of an overrated 10-0 team. They're definitely, I think, will be the 1 seed in the AFC. Maybe if the Chiefs would be in there if the Steelers, lose a game or 2. But, the Steelers are not an overrated team. It's hard to go 10-0. So let's go to Washington, where we have the Bengals and the Washington football team. This game was basically known because of the Joe Burrow injury. Washington's going to score here. They take a 7-0 lead. Joe Burrow, 2nd and goal. He's going to throw a touchdown pass right here to his receiver, A.J. Green. That ties the game at 7-7. Bengals would take a 9-7 lead. Here's Alex Smith trying to get his first win. Throws a touchdown pass right there. Washington takes the lead. Washington would go on to win that game 20-9. So let's sim forward to another game real quick. Let's go to Indianapolis, where we had a great game between the Packers and the Colts. Packers would take a 7-0 lead here. And here's Phillip Rivers going to throw to his receiver, and he is going to go all the way to the end zone. Michael Pittman, coming back from injury, he ties the game up here. And the Packers are going to run it in here to take a 14-7 lead. Ball's out, but they recover it in the end zone. 14-7 Packers. And then here's Aaron Rodgers going to throw another touchdown pass. Packers take a 2-score lead. And here come the Colts. Here's Phillip Rivers going to throw a touchdown pass right there. Makes it a one-score game before halftime, 21-14, Packers lead. But right before halftime, Aaron Rodgers again with another touchdown pass. He's having a great year. The Packers take a 2-score lead. Back from halftime, 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Phillip Rivers going to throw a touchdown pass, make this back to a one-possession lead. The Colts would come back and win that game. Here we go, Cowboys, Vikings. Actually, before we look at this game, let's talk about one more topic, which is who do I think will be the number one seed in the AFC? Now, there's definitely no clear number one seed. It could be the Packers, the Saints, Seahawks, or I think you could even throw the Rams in there. But for me, I still have the Packers at that number one seed. I think it's going to be the Packers and the Seahawks. I think that the Saints will have to play a wild card game. Then I don't think that the Rams are going to win that division. And then in the NFC East, I think that, it could be anyone, but I think that the Eagles will win that division. They probably have the easiest schedule. Cowboys are still in it, though, with Andy Dalton at quarterback. I know they've played really bad this year, but with the schedule, I see them at best finishing with 6 wins. I could see the Eagles with 6 wins, too. I think the Eagles win that division. But as far as number one seed, no, none of the NFC teams have played, as a perfect team that they've shown that they're the clear number one seed. I think that it's between the Saints, Packers, and Seahawks, or really whoever wins the NFC West, whether it's the Cardinals or the Seahawks or the Rams. So I think it's going to be the Packers as well as the Saints or the NFC West winner, who I think will be the Seahawks or could be the Rams. So I think it's going to be the Packers. I really like the way that their defense is played. I know they lost on Sunday. They didn't show that on Sunday. And then for the second seed, I have to go with the Seahawks. I really like the way that offense is playing. The defense, as I said, I don't really like how they've been playing, but I still think that they're Super Bowl contenders. So for me, the top two contenders in the NFC are the Packers and the Seahawks. So let's go to Minnesota for our last game here. Cowboys taking on the Vikings. A really nice touchdown pass here. Cowboys have a 16-14 lead here going into the fourth quarter. Kirk Cousins is going to throw a touchdown pass right here. The Vikings take the lead. Now Vikings lead 21-16. Here's going to be the run, and he's going to go all the way to the end zone. A.J. Pollard gives the Cowboys the lead. Cowboys trying to get back in that NFC East race. They lead by 3 now. Here's Kirk Cousins, going to launch one deep, a beautiful throw to Jefferson. The Vikings take the lead, 28-24. Here's Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton going to throw to his wide-open receiver. Cowboys take the lead. Now for our final game, the Raiders and the Chiefs. First possession of the game, the Raiders take a 7-0 lead. And here's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is going to tie this game up to a wide-open Tyreek Hill. And early I thought this game was going to turn into a shootout, and it really did. And then last play of the first quarter, Derek Carr goes deep and on a free play, and the Raiders take a 14-7 lead. But here's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes hands it off to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he barely gets into the end zone. The Chiefs tie this game up at 14. So 14-14. Now the Raiders would kick a field goal there. It would be a 17-14 game. Patrick Mahomes hands off to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Edwards-Helaire tiptoes his way to the end zone. The Chiefs take a 4-point lead. Chiefs have the 4-point lead here going into the fourth quarter. First play of the fourth quarter, Derek Carr looking, throws to his wide-open receiver. Raiders take a 3-point lead. So 6 minutes left. Chiefs down by 3. Mahomes pitches to Le'Veon Bell, and Le'Veon Bell gets in there. That's what the Chiefs signed him up to do. Now with 1:53 remaining, the Raiders, Derek Carr looking, just gives him way too much time, and he hits Jason Witten for the touchdown. But there's still 1:40 left on the clock. You cannot give Patrick Mahomes that much time. The Chiefs are already in field goal range. Patrick Mahomes looking, he throws a touchdown pass to a wide-open Travis Kelce. Another thing you can't do is leave Kelce wide open. The Chiefs would take a 4-point lead. And then at the end of that game, Derek Carr would throw an interception, and that would be it. And now we go, actually before we get into this game, let's talk about the Chiefs and Raiders game. Did the Chiefs show that they are the number one seed in the AFC? I mean, yes, or I think the Steelers are going to get it, but the Chiefs still show that they're a dominant team. But I still think that if you cannot give Patrick Mahomes that much time, if the Raiders were to take some more time off the clock, maybe take it down 20 seconds, you still never know with Patrick Mahomes. But the Raiders would have a much better chance at winning that game and sweeping the Chiefs and potentially having a shot, which they still could do, in the AFC West. But the Chiefs showed, that, and I think that the Raiders have shown that they can beat the Chiefs. If there's a third matchup in that AFC, that they can be beaten. But for me, I still think that the Chiefs are going to go back to back. I think that the only team that could beat them in the AFC would be the Steelers. But played the Raiders so many times, those divisional matchups can be difficult. But the Chiefs can be beaten, just like any team can be beaten. But I think that would be a great matchup against the Steelers if it comes to that in the playoffs. So we're going to go to our final game of the weekend, our Monday night game. The Rams taking on the Buccaneers. Here's Jared Goff. He's going to throw a touchdown pass to Robert Woods. Rams take a 7-0 lead. But here's Tom Brady to start the second quarter. Brady throws to Mike Evans. Two receivers can't take him down. He is going to go, almost fumbles the ball, but he gets to the end zone. Buccaneers tie this game up. 7-7 game. Here's Tom Brady. He's going to hand it off for the touchdown. Buccaneers take a 14-7 lead. Rams down 14-7. Here's Jared Goff. He throws to his open receiver, Jefferson, and the Rams tie this game up. 17-17. Here's Jared Goff to his running back, Cam Akers. And Cam Akers, the rookie out of Florida State, scores his first touchdown of the year. Buccaneers down by 7, but here's Tom Brady. He throws, and that pass is going to be caught for the touchdown. The Buccaneers tied this game up 24-24. Chris Godwin with that touchdown. And from there, the Rams would go on to win that game. So yeah, a great week of NFL football. But talking about the Buccaneers, do I still think that they can make the playoffs? Definitely. Tom Brady has shown I think some people may disagree with me on this, but he has declined a little bit. As far as the Buccaneers, they have a great defense. They have a good team. I just don't put them as a Super Bowl contender in the NFC. That's who I forgot to mention. But I don't think that they're going to win the division. I think the Saints will win that division, but I do think that the Buccaneers are going to be a tough team to beat. But I still don't see them getting past the second round, which I said at the beginning of the season, that they won't make it past the second round. As far as the Rams are a good team. I feel like they could be one of the most underrated teams in the NFL. The Rams are a great team. Jared Goff, and that's a great offense, coming back from a bad season last year. They have a good defense. I don't know, I still feel the temptation. I still feel that the Seahawks are going to win that division, but I could see the Rams taking that division. Rams, especially if they win that second game against the Seahawks. So yeah, that's going to do it for this weekend recap. Thank you guys for watching.